What's up, guys? This is Fran Mirabella with Brennan Ayu.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Brennan's a hardcore fan, one of our very talented video editors.
Thank you, Fran.
Runs all these Rewind theaters, actually. So we are looking at the Resident Evil Revelations trailer.
Very exciting. I mean, I gotta say the launch lineup for 3DS right now is looking really promising, and a Metal Gear game and a Resident Evil game confirmed. That's awesome. Yeah. So who do we see here sitting in this chair?
Well, Chris Redfield seems to start talking, and it could be him.
Obviously, it looks like Chris Redfield, and also the dialogue in the trailer takes place over these scenes, and that's Chris Redfield talking the VO. So the trailer's leading us to believe that this is actually Chris Redfield, and so we're just going to assume that until we get to the end of the trailer.
Somehow.
And
managed to come through.
So he says right here, somehow I've always managed to come through, and then it starts going into these flashbacks.
in quick succession.
Or flash forwards, we don't really know.
Right, exactly. So right here, bam. That looks like Arklay Mansion from the very first Resident Evil game.
This is like one of the most iconic scenes from the games. So we don't know if it's a flashback or, we think we may have uncovered something.
Yeah, maybe the game is playing around with the timeline. Maybe, there's some mind games going on. But nonetheless, these are scenes from the original Resident Evil.
I mean, I look at this and I see the Resident Evil remake like through and through right here. But, you can see it with their gear, right?
Right, and any second here, a dog is going to crash through that window.
It's very
the
old
iconic
school.
scene from the first Resident Evil. And Chris is in his Stars gear.
Yep.
That's the gear he's wearing from the first game. And Jill looks like she's got some updated attire.
Yeah, and we glanced over that, but that's Jill Valentine right there.
Yeah, Jill Valentine, exactly. So then we jump into, it looks like the inside of a ship.
Yeah.
Looks like it's possibly a military vessel. It's got
But who's
that
to
look,
say?
right? Yeah, who's to say?
And that might be a Japanese exit sign. I can't tell. It doesn't look like a standard sign, but whatever.
Hard to say, hard to say. And then another shot of Jill and Chris making their way through this boat. And
what's cool, you can see some weaponry right there, actually. Check out that gun. It's like loaded.
very cool looking weapon. It's a advanced rifle. It's got a scope on it. It's got a bayonet.
Sounds like weapon customization in this game, which has been a running theme through the last few games, like heavily, and I think we'll see that.
We would only hope so. I really hope that you have more options now to upgrade your weapons, like adding attachments and stuff, because before it was a little bit limited. You could up the power and the firepower and the speed of reloads, but...
So right here, get our first glance of what's the ship, and that doesn't just look like an oil tanker. There's a ton of housing seemingly on the top of it.
Right, the first external shot of the ship, and you know what this looks like to me? This looks like a Carnival cruise or something. This
You've been
doesn't.
on a lot of those, Brennan.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, it doesn't look like a military vessel. It doesn't look like a, like you were saying, a cargo ship. This looks like it's a commercial, like Walt Disney World cruise ship or something.
I think as we'll see later, you might be right, but whether or not Chris and Jill went on some vacation together, I don't know how they got here, but
They
that's
just
going
dropped
to
the
be
gear
interesting.
with them.
So right here, holy crap, well, zombies.
Zombies.
Back.
Confirmed.
Real
in the
zombies.
Resident Evil game. And it looks like they're in the foyer again of Arklay Mansion.
I mean, this is totally for the fans. We've wanted zombies back for a long time, like true zombies, and I think you just see that recurring theme. This is for the fans that love the originals.
And if you didn't notice, she's not getting attacked by one zombie, but maybe a zombie horde, because we have a little fella on the bottom right of the screen making his cameo.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously this is going to be more than one.
He seems excited to be there, and we're excited to have him there.
Hey, he's on a carnival cruise, Brennan. I mean, so he lurches out for her. And
Yeah, looks like she rolls around his back, subduing him and firing on the second zombie.
But it could be a cinematic. It could be moves in the game. Who's to say? So you'll notice as well the zombies puking there for those fans of the puking zombies from the original. So
That's definitely
there it
vomit.
is.
So yeah, that's
Blah.
gonna be a tough
Enjoy
and fun
it.
enemy to encounter in this game. Still in Resident Evil 1 environments, the hallway and the foyer. Yes, I said foyer.
well said. So back to the mysterious man in the chair, all tied up, by the way.
And still lines of dialogue from Chris Redfield.
Yep.
So we
Whoa.
can still only assume that it's him.
Yep. What's going on here? A new character, a new enemy.
Well, when I first saw this, I immediately thought Ouroboros from Resident Evil 5.
But it looks like it's from the sea.
Yeah, it has an aquatic nature to it. There's little tentacles and feelers and whatnot. So maybe some sort of sea monster is attacking this vessel.
You might be getting mutated stuff or zombie sea monsters for all we know. Right here, that's Hunk, right?
That is Hunk, who made his debut in Resident Evil 2, I believe.
Yep.
And he was an Umbrella Special Forces security officer.
So we got, maybe, he's just appearing throughout the game. He could be an enemy. He seems to be against the zombies as well, but
And
it
it's
might
still
just be
also
another playable character at some point.
yeah, maybe multiple playable characters, but it also lends to the theory that maybe this game jumps around in the timeline some,
Yeah.
or it plays around with the
It's
timeline.
very confusing to be honest. So wait, all of a sudden things are going crazy on the ship. In fact, I'm thinking Poseidon Adventure, if you saw the original. Of
I love
course,
Poseidon
it's better.
Adventure.
Something like that's almost going on. Cruise ship, right?
Yeah,
All
maybe
of a
the
sudden-
ship capsizes.
Yeah.
Here she is in an elevator shaft, it looks like, and there's some flames below, which, you know, Resident Evil 5 played, well, Jill Valentine.
And do you see that, by the way? Back up real fast. Watch her hand.
Uh-huh.
It goes free. She's not hanging on to anything. It looks like someone grabs her right there. That could be interesting. So,
very well
I know.
said,
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Mirabella.
So I think
yeah.
somebody catches her. So
That's a nice catch.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another good point though, is that we can only assume that this game is going to support full 2-player co-op,
Yeah.
as RE5 did, which would be awesome. Can you imagine our Resident Evil co-op on a plane with your 3DSs, sit next to your buddy? I know you're not supposed to use Wi-Fi
I
on
know, I
a
was
plane,
gonna
but
bust
come
you
on,
for
it's
that,
an old
but-
wives' tale.
anyway, I mean, this looks great. And then again, all of a sudden, water's coming from this mansion area. I think you're right. They're on a cruise ship or something, and it just so happens they either modeled it after the mansion or Capcom likes to play tricks on you.
Right. Either this is some sort of nightmare or dream sequence, or the foyer of this cruise ship is modeled to look exactly
Yeah.
like the mansion from Resident Evil 1.
And what's really telling you with that too is as you watch this, their clothing is the same. So again, if it's a dream sequence, okay, he's imagining themselves in the same clothing, but I don't think so. These are real events, probably in the very beginning of the game. Again, yeah, maybe capsize is happening here.
Yeah.
Before everything goes crazy. In fact, look at that.
Yeah,
It's about to capsize.
That could be what capsizes the ship, this gigantic
Yeah.
tidal wave.
So-
but yeah, as you can see here, that's definitely a cruise ship.
Yeah.
That's like a vacationing cruise liner. That's not like an Umbrella Corp military ship
Yeah,
or
which I
a Tricell ship from RE5. or
I
anything
think
like
could be a
that.
very cool setting for this game. Like trapped in the interiors of the ship, you're out to sea. That's a pretty freaky environment. Good choice, Capcom, if that's where we're at.
Awesome setting. So
Back
now, this is the
again.
first time we see Jill in opposition to who seems to be Chris
Yep. She says,
Chris
"You think
Redfield.
you can get away with this, whoever it
Away
is?"
with this.
And we go a little bit further,
Whoa.
and oh,
That's Chris. In the same room as what we thought was Chris.
so who in the world is this guy in the chair?
Yeah. So let's listen to what they say right here.
Do you have it?
Maybe. You'll have to kill me to find out.
And what would you do if you found it? It doesn't matter, because you're already.
So Capcom's such a tease. So it's saying, "Do you have it? Did you?" And then he says, "Even if you found it, effectively, right? Like it doesn't matter because you're already." And we don't know what that means.
I want to
Already
say dead.
dead. That's what everybody wants to think, and I think Capcom wants you to think that. But maybe it means infected. Maybe it means doomed. I mean, who's to say?
There's some strange stuff going on here, for sure. Like this Chris Redfield doppelganger, Chris Redfield in his original Stars uniform. Like the more and more I think about it, it seems like maybe Chris and Jill are held captive on this cruise liner, and someone is screwing with them,
Exactly.
trying
So-
to turn them against each other, impersonating people. You know.
Yeah. So we should probably end this, but I think we covered a ton.
All right, well, let's look forward to the release of this game with the 3DS coming maybe this December, maybe this January, who knows.
Away with this.
Lots to find out. Thanks, guys.